All right, I think we're ready to kick things off. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Joseph. I oversee our MLS partnerships here at CubiCasa. Excited to chat with all of you today to introduce you to CubiCasa, walk you through how you can use our tool to create floor plans, and really just to elevate the experience with your clients as we continue our partnership with Conejo Simi Moore Park. I'm also joined today by Amber from our support and success team. She'll give us a quick look at the CubiCasa dashboard, show you where you can access, edit, and customize your floor plans. But to start out, I'll spend about 20 minutes or so with you walking through a few things. First and foremost, what CubiCasa is in general. We'll talk about the benefits of floor plans and why they're important to your clients. And then we'll take a look at the technology itself, so the actual mobile app that you'll be using, and the different types of floor plans that are available to you once we've scanned a property. As we're walking through everything today, please feel free to use the Q&A function within Zoom to send over any questions that you have. We'll be keeping tabs on that as we go. Once we wrap up the webinar today, we'll also just leave the room open to allow time for additional Q&A. So be sure to take advantage of that throughout the session and afterwards today. We'll make sure that we get all of your questions answered. We've also got a couple of special guests joining us today to share about their experience using CubiCasa locally in your market. So be sure to stick around for that conversation a little bit later on in the webinar today. Last bit of kind of housekeeping before we jump in, I've included a QR code here on the screen. For those of you that have not created your account yet, feel free to scan it now. Don't feel rushed. We'll pull this up at the end of the webinar. We'll leave it up on screen. This will take you to the actual sign up page for your MLS. You can also click through the CubiCasa link on your MLS dashboard. Either option will take you to that same sign up page, and you'll be able to create your account and get started from there. With that, I think we are ready to dive in. So CubiCasa has one main goal here in the US, and that's to bring a floor plan to every single real estate listing across the country. So to start off, let's talk about the why behind that, what our tool is and how it actually works, and how you can help us on this mission to improve the home buying experience for consumers in your market. Right now, just kind of across the board, we are seeing a floor plan demand gap. So consumers are asking for floor plans to be included. They're already familiar with them on the rental and multifamily side of things. But when we look at active listings, floor plans are only included on around 20% of them. And if we look at consumer research from NAR and companies like Zillow, we can see that floor plans are highly desired add-ons to listings. They help to drive both traffic and demand, and they can even help your properties to sell faster. And we know this consumer demand is there. If you look at some of the reports that come out each year, things like the NAR Home Buyers and Sellers Survey, you'll notice that the results remain very much unchanged, with floor plans continuing to be highly sought after. But why are floor plans so important to consumers? I think the easiest way to boil it down is that it helps buyers to understand a property's fit for their lifestyle. If you're on a search portal, for example, you pull up a listing, you're swiping through the photos on the carousel, you're going to be learning about that home room by room or sort of piece by piece. But when you have a floor plan available, like the one you see here on screen, you have that easy to view, easy to understand, quick glimpse into the entire property as a whole. It allows you to see the size of the rooms, the flow between them. You can learn if and where current furniture will fit or plan out any sort of improvement projects. But as I mentioned, I think the key piece here is understanding if the property layout actually suits your client's family. Are the kids' bedrooms near the primary bedroom, for example? Or on the flip side of that, are the kids as far away from the parents as possible? Is there a dedicated space kind of off the main action of the home that could be used as a guest space or a home office? A floor plan's really the best way to make sense of those types of questions, to understand the layout of the home as a whole, and can even help you to tie all of your listing photos together, since those are typically just of one single room or space at a time. So now that I've got you thinking about the benefits of floor plans kind of in general, let's take a look at some of the ways that you can incorporate them while working with your clients. First, you can include a floor plan with every new listing. This will give consumers exactly what they're looking for and will help your listings to stand out since, as we just talked about, only about 20% of listings include floor plans right now. Some of our users have also baked this process into their listing presentations to use as a tool to win over new clients and new listings by showing all of the great marketing material that they're going to create for that property. By including floor plans and really just great listing media in general, you're going to appeal to potential home buyers and can even help to generate better qualified leads who know and understand that the property matches their needs and really fits their lifestyle before taking any sort of next step. Outside of just your new listings, you can also use CubiCasa to provide helpful resources when working with your buyers. So not only will you be able to create floor plans for properties that you're touring, you can also generate other helpful property reports for your clients for them to decide which home to actually move forward with, or if they already have an accepted offer, to start planning out their move or any sort of improvement projects that they want to do to their new home. So everything that I've talked about at this point, again, is just kind of about floor plans in general. How does that lead into what CubiCasa is and why I'm actually talking with you today? To give you some high level background, we started a number of years ago essentially as a floor plan redraw service. But we've evolved into what we are today, which is an amazing mobile app that allows you to quickly and easily scan a property in just a couple of minutes to create an accurate floor plan. You'll be able to showcase the layout of the home like you see there on the top right. You can generate the individual room dimensions that you can then use to populate the listing or to share with potential home buyers. And that same quick scan that you do of a property allows you to create a number of different 2D and 3D style floor plans. Now, at first thought, you may be thinking, it sounds like this is going to be a complicated or technical process, maybe even time consuming, even though I did just say a few minutes. The good news is it's probably easier than you're thinking. If you look at this image on screen, that gives you a good glimpse into what you'll look like as you're walking through scanning properties. You'll simply open up the app, confirm the property address, and begin the new scan. It will pull up a camera type view like you see on the device screen there. You'll hold the device at about chest height level, walk the perimeter of every room on the interior of the home. You can also capture any outdoor spaces that you want featured on the floor plan, like porches, decks, or patios. As you're walking through scanning, you're also going to get real-time feedback. So if you're moving too quickly, for example, if you get too close to a wall, the app will help you to correct that in real time, which makes the process as easy as possible for you as the scanner. But the more important piece of that feedback is it allows you to get the most accurate scan, so you'll get the most accurate measurements and floor plan as the end result. Last thing to note about the app is that it is available for both Apple and Android devices. Any device from the last like 8 years or so will work for you. Next, let's take a look at an actual scan in action. Unfortunately, I can't show, a fully live demo where my computer follows me as I scan. So this will be the next best thing. I'm going to send over the link to this video in the chat box in just a couple of minutes. Since we're over streaming, sometimes it can come through a little choppy or pixelated. So if you do want to take a closer look, you'll have that link in just a minute. This video will show the three sort of general steps that you'll take. One, to begin the scan. Two, a quick look at the actual scanning process as you move throughout the home. And then three, once you've completed the scan, how to actually submit that to us and select the different types of floor plans that you want for that particular property. So first up, when you begin the new scan will be to select the property type. Single family home, townhouse, apartment, condo. You can scan any type of property. You'll confirm the street address and review a few best practice scanning tips before you begin. And then from there, it will pull up that camera type view that I mentioned, and you're ready to begin scanning the perimeter of the entire interior of the home, as well as any of those exterior spaces that you want featured on the floor plan, like those porches, decks, or patios. Once you've finished scanning, so you've captured everything inside, you've captured those outdoor spaces, you'll submit directly in the app like you see here. Select the different types of 2D or 3D floor plan options that you want for that property. And within 24 hours, your floor plans will be available to download. It really is just as simple as you saw there, holding your device and walking throughout the space. Now, that video gave us a quick glimpse into a couple of interior areas. We saw that deck area off the back of the home. I always like to show this example here of a pretty non-traditional layout. We've got curved walls, which are always a pain to measure. There's a pool in the backyard. There's an ADU off of the main home. All of this was captured as part of one single continuous scan. And the same process will be true for homes with multiple stories. You just need that one single scan. In those situations, we recommend starting in the basement or lowest level of the home, kind of working your way up from there. You do not need to pause or stop the scan as you move from level to level. You'll just continue scanning as you walk up or down the staircase. And the same process will be true for examples like the one we have on screen here. As you move from inside the home to outside to capture those exterior spaces, you again do not need to pause or stop the scan as you go. You'll just continue scanning as you walk out the door and capture any of those exterior spaces. Really, the main point of what I'm saying with all of this is that you want to capture everything that you want featured on the floor plan as part of that one single continuous scan. Once you've completed that scan, you'll be able to download your 2D floor plans within 24 hours, and you can create a number of different 2D and 3D style products, all from that same quick scan. So next, we'll take a look at what's actually available to you once you've done the scan, all the different types of floor plans that you can use, including your MLS sponsored benefits, unlimited free basic floor plans, and a 25% discount on any upgraded options that you select beyond that. First up is our basic floor plan, which we call Light. This is going to be that unlimited option for you, which again is going to be free. That makes it a really great starting point to start making floor plans a little bit more standard practice when you're getting your listings put together. It's only going to take you a couple of minutes to scan the home, and the best part is it's free. It will cover properties up to 5,000 square feet of scanned area, so that will include the internal square footage, as well as any outdoor spaces that you capture, like the deck or the porch that are on the example here. It's available to save with or without the room dimensions included. So what you see here has each room labeled with the dimensions of that space listed below. If you just wanted more of like a marketing style floor plan, or we're just looking to showcase the general layout of the home, you can toggle those dimensions off. Or if you want to include the room dimensions for the listing or for your clients to get a better feel for, furniture and all of that, you can include the dimensions listed just below each name of the room. Last thing to note about the light style floor plans is that because this is a free option for you, it also does not require a credit card to be added to your account for you to begin scanning and creating floor plans. Now, on top of this free basic version, there are a number of optional paid add-ons that you can choose from. Everything that we offer is all created from that same quick scan, so there's nothing different or additional that you need to do in terms of actually scanning the property. And all products are available on a per use or a la carte basis. So you can pick and choose what's wanted or needed for each individual property that you scan. There are no monthly or subscription fees or anything like that. You only pay for the products that you actually select. And if you're just using the light floor plan, which I've still got pulled up on the screen here, that again will be free and unlimited for those properties up to 5,000 square feet of scanned area. This next sample floor plan is going to show our three most popular options, all of the same property, kind of broken into thirds. Light on the left-hand side is that free basic floor plan that we just talked about. Plus, what you see here in the middle is an upgraded package that unlocks a number of different things. I would say the key piece here is the fixed furniture. So that's where you'll see things like appliances in the kitchen, islands, wraparound countertops, any sort of fixtures in the bathrooms and wet spaces. So things like tubs, toilets, vanities, shower stalls, all of that will actually be drawn onto the floor plan to get a better feel for the layout. This also allows you to customize the style and color scheme of your floor plans. You can save out multiple versions for different types of marketing. It's going to include two different property reports that you can generate, as well as our interactive style floor plan called CubiCasa Tour, which I'll give you a look at here in just a moment. Lastly, on the right-hand side, we've got Plus 3D, which, as the name implies, introduces a 3D style floor plan. The 3D floor plans will have colors and textures matched to the space as closely as possible, and will also include actual loose furniture within the home. So things like beds, sofas, dining tables, all of that will be drawn onto the floor plan to help better visualize the space. Worth noting for the 3D floor plans is that even if you scan a vacant property, we can still actually fill it with standard furniture to give that better visualization. You're also going to see your MLS sponsored discount on any paid upgrades or packages that you select, which is reflected here in the pricing on screen. After your 25% discount brings the cost down to just $11.25 for the Plus package, or $48.75 if you need the 3D style floor plan. And the basic floor plan light, which we've got on the left-hand side, again, that's going to be free and unlimited for those properties up to 5,000 square feet. In addition to these three main popular options, there are a number of other add-ons, both 2D and 3D, that you can create all from that same quick scan. For the sake of time today, I'm not going to walk through every single thing that you can create, but just to give you kind of a high-level general idea of what's available, we offer a GLA report or gross living area report. This is our appraisal grade product that will show the breakdown of livable versus non-livable square footage. We have a full lineup of 3D options, including the floor plans, which we just talked about, as well as video renderings and editable CAD files. You can create a home report, which will outline a room by room and level by level breakdown of the space, or use our snapshots feature to take photos as you're walking through scanning the home. And then you'll get a really nice report at the end with all of your photos next to a floor plan pinpointing where each photo was taken in the home. And you can take your floor plan to the next level by making it interactive using the CubiCasa tour. Lastly, you can choose a faster turnaround time for your 2D floor plans if you need them within just 6 hours, or you can even scan oversized properties to get floor plans for homes that are over 5,000 square feet. Now, as a reminder, with everything that we've looked at and talked about today, you're going to have unlimited access to the free light floor plans, and all of the available upgraded options are available on that per use or a la carte basis. So you can pick and choose what's wanted or needed for each individual property that you scan. One product I did want to come back to and give you a closer look at is the CubiCasa Tour. So this will be included with all of your Plus or Plus 3D orders at no additional cost. This allows you to take the floor plan that you're already creating for the property, upload the listing photos that you're planning to use for that listing, and have an automatically generated virtual tour created for you. It's going to be a hosted experience, so it's just a URL that you can copy paste into the virtual tour field on the listing, share out on social media, wherever you want to blast it out from there. I'm actually going to switch my tab here just to give you a live view of the tour so you can see what the consumer experience looks like and see how to actually interact with the tour. So it'll take you to a page that looks just like this. On the left-hand side, you've got the floor plan that you created. On the right-hand side, you'll find the photo carousel. You can interact with the tour in two different ways. So on the left-hand side here, where we've got the floor plan, you'll notice all of these clickable hotspots. As I click into these, they'll change color to indicate where I am on the floor plan and will take me to the photo that was taken in that actual location of the home. On the right-hand side here, where we've got the photo carousel, you can come over here and swipe through the photos the same way you would on a normal carousel. But as I do so, you'll notice those hotspots on the floor plan will continue to change color, again to indicate where you are on the floor plan and where that photo was actually taken in the home. So it's a really nice, clean, simple experience for the consumer. And for you as the agent, it's a fast, easy, and affordable way to create this really nice interactive experience with the media that you're already creating for the listing. Now, as a secondary option to the full CubiCasa tour, you still can actually create a hosted floor plan for any property that you scan, even if you don't upload your photos to create the full tour, or if you just go with our basic style floor plan, there will still be a URL that you can take advantage of that will take you to a hosted floor plan that looks just like this. Not quite as interactive, of course, as the actual full CubiCasa tour. But if you pull this up, you can still zoom in, pan around the floor plan. You can toggle between different floors or levels of the property. And again, just get a better feel for the actual layout of the space without having to just have that one single image of the floor plan itself. So either way, for any property that you scan, you'll be able to create either the full Cubic Casa tour or still have just that hosted basic floor plan available with a really nice way to show the property off to consumers. So now that you have completed your scan, you've selected the different types of floor plans you want, maybe you've now created your CubiCasa tour. The next step is to download your floor plans, add them to the listing, share them with your clients from there. You can download the floor plan images as either JPEG or PNG files. Use these to upload alongside the rest of your listing photos right into the listing, or just to share right directly with your clients. The different types of reports that we offer, like the home report or the snapshots report, will both be available as PDFs. Worth noting for any file download, you can do so either directly in the CubiCasa app, so using your phone or mobile device, or by logging into your CubiCasa dashboard from your computer, which is what Amber will show us here in just a couple of minutes. Either way, you can select the different types of file types and products that you want downloaded and download everything all at once from there. So that's everything that I wanted to cover with you in terms of what CubiCasa is, how to use the app, and a quick look at the different types of floor plans that are available to you once you've actually scanned a home. From here, there's kind of two different paths that you can take. So first, if all of this sounds interesting to you, but you maybe don't have the time to scan your listings or just don't want to, that's totally fine. We actually work with a network of photographers all across the country who include our floor plans with their regular photo shoot packages. So there wouldn't be anything that you need to do on your end to create all of this awesome marketing material. You can access a list of local photographers based on your actual geolocation, either by logging into your CubiCasa dashboard or by scanning the QR code that you see here on screen. Either option will take your actual location, show you the local photographers that we work with, and open up a search functionality where you can search for photographers in other cities or even other states as well to find a local company to work with. On the flip side of that, if all of this sounds interesting to you and you do want to scan the properties yourself, you do want to be able to go in and edit or customize your floor plans once they've been created. I always like to highlight our amazing support team. There's a lot of different things that you can do, a lot of things you may have questions about as you get started with scanning. You can reach us at any time. We've got live chat baked into both the mobile app and the desktop site. That will be the fastest way to get in touch. You can also shoot us an email at help@cubicasa.com. Either option will get you directly connected to our support team, and we'll be able to walk you through anything that you need. So now moving into next steps for you to get started. First up, of course, is to create your account if you haven't already. You can do so by clicking through the CubiCasa link on your MLS dashboard or by scanning the QR code that I'll pull back up here on screen in just a moment. Once your account is created, you are then ready to start scanning and getting floor plans for all of your listings. Really could not be any easier. I always recommend download the app, do a test scan of your own home. You'll get a feel for how fast and easy the process is. You're also probably already familiar with the measurements of your home, or at least have a general idea of them. So you'll get a chance to see how accurate the floor plans are too. So that's everything that I wanted to cover with you on my end. Hopefully this was helpful to get an introduction to, what CubiCasa is and how you can use our app to create awesome floor plans for your listings and when working with your clients. Next, I'd like to pause for a moment while I welcome our special guests that are joining us today. We've got Carrie and Stan. I saw both of you pop in, so hopefully you guys are able to connect and chat with me. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Hey there.
Hello, how's it going?
Doing well, doing well.
Good, good. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I know we've got Carrie with us as well. Hopefully, she'll pop in here in just a moment. I think it's always helpful for agents to see how other agents are actually using the app. And rather than just listening to me kind of talk about how great floor plans are, especially when working with local agents in the actual market. There's Carrie. Hey, Carrie, thanks for joining us. So I figure what we could do over the next couple minutes here is just kind of talk through some general questions about, the day to day and how you guys are using CubiCasa. I think it's just sort of a general starting point. How has CubiCasa added value to your business in the day to day? And either or both of you feel free to chime in at
Yeah.
any.
I mean, it's helped my business tremendously, not just for listings, but also for my buyers. So I actually do, on every listing I do a floor plan, and not only does it help, my potential buyers with other agents coming in to make sure that
Mhm.
if they want a downstairs bedroom for their mother-in-law, if they want to make sure, like you were saying, bedrooms are close to the master for the kids, whatever, it's easier for them to
Right.
see. And I feel like they don't waste any time seeing properties that aren't going to fit their needs. And I use it a lot for buyers because when we're in escrow, it helps, figure out where they want to put furniture. Will this work for them? Measurements, everything. So I actually do one for every buyer that I have as well. Even when
Wow.
they're just looking at houses, I'll run through the house, maybe while we're doing a quick walkthrough, looking at multiple properties. And I know if they really like someone, I'll do a quick scan of it for them.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I'm in the same. I'm right there with you. I do the exact same thing. We've found that it really helps people actually when they're looking at the pictures to mentally walk through the property. So it makes it so that pictures are great, but sometimes it doesn't put any perspective to where that particular room is inside the house. So the adding those to the listing have been just completely awesome. And then adding like Carrie said was when we have buyers having them do a quick scan of a house that they really really like, and they can start visualizing after they've seen it, because you get a few buyers out, you get a buyer out and they see 4 or 5 houses, they quickly forget where things are at. Bedrooms and baths go into different houses. So we like to use the scanning feature, if it's okay with the listing agent, to kind of run through really quick and make sure that the buyer has that kind of mental thought in the back of his head. So
Yeah. It's a great resource to have on hand with buyers. And something that's a best practice that I always say is if you are going to be scanning a property with your buyers on the buy side, just make sure you double check with the listing agent before you scan the home, just to get the thumbs up and permission. But that is a great way to do things. As you're touring properties, you have a free
Yep.
basic floor plan that you guys can take advantage of, which is a really nice, low barrier to entry to have that nice resource. And then some of the additional tools like the home report can really help for those planning purposes as they get ready to, move into their new home.
And I've done this before where I've blown up the floor plan for my buyers in escrow and laminated it so they can use like a dry erase marker to like
That's
move furniture
awesome.
around. So that's actually been pretty helpful too. People have really liked that.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's a great idea.
I was
That's a
actually
great
going to say
idea.
drawing on the floor plans. I did that for my own house as we were planning out our patio, not drawing inside, but I still printed out my floor plan like 5 different times and was just drawing different types of patios that we wanted. So I actually think the laminated thing is a great idea. I might steal that and share that with
No
others.
problem. No problem. I know I do it all the time. So especially for people that are just really buying new furniture, they want to go measure things, I'll laminate
Right.
for them, blow it up, and then that way they don't have to ask me for 100 copies of it.
That's awesome. I love it. That kind of ties into what my next question was going to be is like, what sort of, feedback or reactions are you guys getting from either homeowners or the buyers that you're working with when sharing the floor plan with them?
We've been getting actually really great feedback, even on the listing side. When we have open houses and things like that, with open house when they walk through, they already have a real good sense of the property before they even get there. And
Right.
I ask them straight out if they what they thought of the floor plan, and it makes them, they are appreciative of it because it makes it so that it's easy for them to kind of visualize before they get there, instead of it just being a mystery. And it also, I think, it kind of anchors the property in their mind too, as well, just because of that. As far as the buyers go, they love it. I mean, like Carrie's already alluded to, they get a chance to figure out where things are at, what they need to do with furniture, if they need to upgrade or downgrade, furniture because of size. So we've seen a great positive response to it.
That's
And I'll
awesome.
and I'll kind of tie into that, not just the buyer and seller side, but I always give a floor plan to the appraiser. I give a measured one and then a non-measured
Mhm.
one to the appraisers, and they love it because then they don't have to draw everything out. They still have to measure,
Mhm.
they have to do their own, due diligence, but every single one of them always appreciates it to at least have some comparison, some, contrast, and they don't have to really draw out the whole and bedroom count, that kind of thing. So it really helps the appraisers as
Yeah.
well.
It's a good starting point for really anybody in the process. So that's a good point to make.
Yeah.
And for this group today, so we've probably got a lot of agents here who are, new users. They haven't used CubiCasa yet. They maybe are a little bit hesitant to use a technology like this, or maybe are a little bit worried about what the results might be. What would you guys tell, or what sort of advice would you have for these new agents that are maybe hesitant to use CubiCasa or to start using floor plans in general?
I would say just start with your own house. Do a floor plan on your own house.
Yeah.
It's free. So just do a floor plan on your house. Try it out, see how it works. You're the one that knows your house the best. So if there's any inconsistencies or, ambiguities with it, at least you know how to correct it and then do it. So I would say do it on your own house first. And I know I did a training at my office at Keller Williams Westlake. And I just, I went through and had people follow me like a little row of ducklings around the
Yeah.
office to do a floor plan. And it seemed to work and got people a little less scared about trying it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 100% with that too. You use it, you're going to find out that it's simple to use. I literally can do a floor plan as we're walking through a house.
Yeah,
So,
3 minutes.
just yeah, it's like
Mhm.
Yeah,
it gets to be that simple. I mean, the first you're going to fumble the first few times. You might have to do some corrections, but not as much as you think.
right.
It's very few, if any. So it's the system processes things very well. And it kind of guides you, like you said in the presentation. It guides you through, tells you when you're too close, when you're too far away, and you'll get used to seeing the gray boxes on the windows and stuff like that. And it's super simple to use. So
Yeah. And I think you'll experience that too once you've used the app a few times and you get used to it. It really is as fast as simple as we're all saying. The average size house we're seeing right now is in the neighborhood of like 2,200 square feet, and those scans are taking less than 4 minutes. So it's a super fast process. You just quickly walk throughout the home, and then you have this really nice resource, and actually multiple resources that you can generate from that one single scan without a lot of work and for a really affordable price, or best part, free for the basic floor plans.
And then another quick thing to note too is that I have so many floor plans saved now with different either listings I had or buyers I had that a lot of the times if a house comes on the market and my client wants to know what the floor plan is and the agent doesn't have it, there's more than likely I have the general floor plan from
Mhm.
that particular house.
Yeah. Or at least like the neighborhood, for example, where you can say, here's kind of what an average home may look
Yep.
like in the neighborhood. So
Yep.
that's awesome. Well, thank you both so much for joining us today. It was great
You're
to hear
welcome.
about your experiences using CubiCasa. Any sort of, final thoughts or final tips or tricks or anything that you want to leave the group with today?
I'd say get out and use it. It's just, until you use it, you're not going to know if you like it or not. So it's like, I think it's a great product, and so far it's been helping out a lot. So you just use it.
Yep. I agree.
Awesome. And I think the advice to try it out on your own home, that's actually what I recommend too. That's a great place to start. And again, because you guys have access to the free basic floor plan, even if you wanted to scan your own home 5 times to get familiar with the process and just feel more comfortable with it, do it. It's only going to take you a few minutes and it's free. All right, awesome, guys. Well, thank you again so much for joining us today. For now, we're going to hand things over to Amber so she can give us that look at the CubiCasa dashboard, show you some of the tools and features that you guys can start using today. And then in the meantime, feel free to keep sending questions in the Q&A. We've also got Stan and Carrie with us. So if you guys want to stick around and see if you guys get any questions about your experience, feel free to chime in at any point. But for now, I'll go ahead and hand things over to Amber so we can walk through the dashboard.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I will share my screen. So today I'm going to walk you through navigating your CubiCasa dashboard and accessing all of the products that Joseph shared earlier. Once you've created your account with the QR code or unique MLS referral link, downloaded the CubiCasa app and submitted your scan, you can access the order on the website via the dashboard. If you won't be doing the scanning yourself, up here at the top of the dashboard, you can see where you can locate our trusted photographer partners who will be happy to help you with that. If you will be doing the scanning yourself, you can access your order by scrolling down here to recent orders, or you can come over to the left column to the order history tab. And to get started, you just click on the order address, and that will take you to that order specific dashboard page. On the first tab, the 2D products tab, you can view your package type, if there are any fees associated with the order, and you can also have access to features like change style, quick edit, and change request, and I will explain some of those in detail shortly. If you go with our Plus product, in our next tab, we have the CubiCasa Tour tab, and this is where you will go to upload your photos and generate the tour. This is what it looks like when the tour is not generated, and I will show you one that has been completed. And this is what the page will look like once your tour has been activated. Through here, you will also have access to the quick edit tool to make adjustments to the tour and your floor plan. Since I'm streaming, it might take a little bit to open up. And to get started, you can click on any of the photo markers on the plan, and that will get this drop-down menu to appear. If you click and hold on the photo marker, you can move it around to reposition it on the floor plan. If you click on this purple dot, you can change the angle of the photo marker. Over here, you can upload additional photos if needed. And down here in the photo carousel, you can remove photos if you need to. And you can also change the order that the photos appear in the tour simply by clicking on a photo and dragging it into the position that you want it to appear in the tour. You can also make some adjustments like to the room labels. And once you have your things the way you'd like them, remember to click on the floppy disk icon to save. And we'll just wait for the confirmation prompt to appear. And now we can close and back out of this browser. Here under the share button is where you will go to set the tour online or offline. Here you have the option to display on Redfin. You can click this to display your tour on Redfin or unclick it if you don't want to display it on Redfin. You can choose to show or hide the approximate dimensions and property address, choose your preferred unit of measurement, and down here we have the two sharing options. We have the basic URL code, and we also have the embed code. If you want an unbranded version of the tour, you'll want to be sure this MLS compliance switch is toggled on, and you'll see in both of the URLs, it will mention that it's unbranded. And once you have your settings in place, click Save, and those will quickly be applied onto your tour. In our next tab, we have the GLA report add-on. Not sure why that's not appearing here, so we'll go back. And our GLA add-on is ANSI aligned and widely used by appraisers, and this is available with both the Lite and Plus product options. If you go with the Plus product option in our next tab, we have our Reports tab where you can download the PDFs of the home report and snapshot report. If you take snapshots during your scan and upload them, you will see a download button appear here. Since I didn't do that with this scan, that's why that option is not appearing. But this is where you would go to download these PDFs. And in our last tab, we have our 3D products, where you can access the Plus 3D floor plan, 3D video render, and CAD files if you go with any of those paid options. To download your floor plans, you come up here and click Download. You have the choice to show or hide the dimensions on the final output. Choose your preferred formatting options. If you have any add-ons associated with your order, you can click on everything, and download it all into a single zip file on your computer. If you need to upgrade an existing order, you can come up here to the upgrade button, select the product, and then click continue, and our production team will take it from there. If you already have a CubiCasa account, you can still link to your MLS without creating a new account. To do that, you will come over here to Settings, into the Company tab. You'll want to be sure your customer type is set as agent or appraiser so that you'll have access to the MLS membership tab. And in here, you'll just type in your MLS and enter your ID and click Verify the account. And once you've verified, click Save. And that will link your CubiCasa profile to your MLS so you'll be able to take advantage of the partnership benefits. And lastly, if you go with the Plus product, I'd like to show you how you can customize your floor plans. That is also done under Settings in the Styling tab. You can create multiple templates depending on your branding or client preferences. To get started, you'll click Create Style. Here you can select your preferred language and unit of measurement, your preferred rounding options. You can attach your logo. In this drop-down menu, you can select one of our predefined themes like our popular earth tones theme or our new modern theme. You'll see when I click on that, that changed the color scheme down here. If you need something more personalized, you can go into each different aspect of the floor plan and change the shades by scrolling along on this color spectrum. Or if you happen to know the specific code for a shade you're looking for, you can arrow through these different options and enter that code for the specific shade that you're looking for. You can also change the text style and color of the labels and the disclaimer. You can go with our default disclaimer or enter a customized one if you'd like. You can change the resolution for the images and the export resolution. And down here, you can choose to fill the fixed furniture with color or not. You can choose to show or hide the measurement breakdown at the bottom of the floor plan. If you have location services enabled on your device, you can add a compass to the floor plan. And we now also have the option to show a logo and your disclaimer on the home report. And once you have everything the way you'd like it, you'll just click Save as New. And when you have multiple templates like this, you can select one as your default simply by clicking this button here. And that will apply those settings to any Plus orders that you have in the future. To change the style of an existing order, you'll go back to the Order History tab and click on the order that you want to update. And then you'll select Change Style, choose the template you want to apply, and click Change Style again. And those changes will render onto your plan within a few minutes. To learn more about your account or request support, you can come down to this chat bubble down in the bottom left corner. Under Help, you'll have access to our keyword searchable help center, which is full of resources and tutorials to help you out as you get started. If you'd like to speak directly with somebody in support, you can click on Messages and send us a message directly. We're available 24 hours and happy to assist with any questions that you have. And that covers everything for now. I'll hand it back to Joseph to wrap things up.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much. I'm going to get my screen reshared here so I can pull up that QR code once more. Again, this is what you'll scan to create your account and get started. If you're unable to scan, you can also click through the CubiCasa link on your MLS dashboard. Or if you head over to the chat box on Zoom here, I sent over the direct link for sign up alongside a few other helpful links as you're getting started. One to the video that we watched earlier today with the 3 steps to scan. Another link to our general YouTube channel where you'll find other helpful content as you're getting started. Things like best scanning practices, as well as tons of short form video content walking through some of the tools and features that you now can take advantage of. And we also sent over a link to the Keyword Searchable Help Center, which is what Amber was just showing us. It's baked into the chat function of the app, but you can also find that direct link there, and that will walk through basically everything that you can do, every sort of questions that you may have about CubiCasa. Now, speaking of questions, before we wrap things up, there were a couple of questions that came through that I think are worth sharing with the group here. There was a question about the unbranded experience for the CubiCasa tour. So that just means that there'll be no CubiCasa branding on the live tour or the actual tour URL. It's going to say visithome.ai, which is a fake website that you can use for the CubiCasa tour experience. There were a couple of questions that came through just regarding the upgraded product pricing. So all pricing is per use, per property, or per scan. There's not going to be any sort of monthly or subscription fees or anything like that. You basically select the products you want for each individual property that you scan, and you're only charged for the actual products that you select. Now, one thing to keep in mind as sort of an extension of that is you can add products on at any point after you've scanned a property. So my advice, just as sort of standard practice, would be to scan every property by default. That way you have the free basic floor plan available. And then if you do need to add on any of the upgraded 2D or 3D options at that point, it's just a couple of clicks on your dashboard. You don't need to go back and rescan the property or anything like that. Another question came through is definitely worth sharing because I'm sure a lot of you experience this where you have properties where you're not going to have good cell coverage or a good connection. So you don't actually need a strong connection to actually do the CubiCasa scan. You will need a connection to send it to us for processing, whether it be Wi-Fi or a strong cell signal, but you don't need to have a connection while you actively scan the home. You can scan as is, basically save it as a draft within the app, and then submit it to us for processing when you're on Wi-Fi or when you have that stronger signal. And actually something that we recommend too is putting the phone in airplane mode when you do the scan. If you get a lot of pop-up notifications or phone calls throughout the day, this is a nice way to avoid getting interrupted as you walk through scanning. But bottom line of all of that is you do not need a connection to scan. You just need a strong connection to actually submit the scan for processing. I think that covers all of the open questions that came through. We're going to leave the room open for the next few minutes here, so please feel free to keep the questions coming in the Q&A. If you think of questions later on, don't forget that speech bubble icon will follow you throughout, both in the app and on the desktop site. That will get you directly connected to our support team, and we'll be able to walk through any sort of questions that you have. Thank you again, everyone, so much for joining us today. Hopefully this was helpful to get an introduction to, what CubiCasa is and how you can use it. Huge thanks to Carrie and Stan for joining us today and sharing about their experience using CubiCasa. Hopefully that was helpful for our new users to feel a little bit more comfortable about how you can use the app and all the benefits that you're going to see out of using it. Thanks again for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your week and happy scanning.